Hi guys, in this one we're going to be building a D.H.Hornet Frog in 1/72 scale. The tooling is originally 1971, the kit that we're building is from 1974. We're going to start off by cutting the propeller and the spinner. The only thing I would have liked is they kept the spinner and the propeller separate, it would have made things easier. Just doing a dry fit. You will find though with these old kits, especially this one, there's flash everywhere, but it's so minor. It's just a little clean up here and there as you go. I think I had to clean up everything that I glued together. Needed some sort of flash removing. I clip these off now, but I don't need them till way later. But the good news about clipping these off now, I can give them a little bit of a clean up, and then they're ready just to straight away paint and glue on without having to have the stress of cleaning these. The way I'm clipping these and letting them drop to the desk is a bad idea. You're kind of asking to feed the carpet monster, which unfortunately I find out the hard way later on. Me personally, I think it would have been better for these little bits, or these two parts that you glue together, to have been moulded as one part. I don't understand why these are kept separate, but that's just my personal opinion. The clippers I'm using here, they are my battle axe of clippers. in a bad state, but they seem to just keep doing the job. And like I've said in the past on other videos, they always manage, even though they're cheap clippers, to get right up. These Tamiya ones, they're good for close-up fine cutting, but that one you just see with a blue handle just there on the desk is the one that I use to really get up and close. Something I've noticed when clipping this bit, there's a short shot. When I did the unboxing, I never noticed. This one right there, there's a short shot, you see there's a bit missing. You definitely see it's more noticeable when we put silver on later on, but I never noticed that when we did the original unboxing. This tool I'm using is a Citadel seam remover. It's a good tool for stuff like this when it's just a quick job, about a minute and that will clean it up. It's a really nice way of cleaning up small parts like this, especially something that's fragile and could potentially snap. I will say, however, for the price of this tool, it's a bit pricey for something which a knife could do the same job. These little bits here are the most fiddly part of the kit. I wouldn't say fiddly, I think they're just really small, and you've got a little base just to glue it in, so I'm using the tweezers just to gently place it into position. And you can see what I mean by the short shot. Just there, you see that gap? Those 3 points, they don't quite meet up. Here I've just stated my point I said earlier. You don't always need the seam remover. don't know why I airbrushed this bit when that's the bit that's going to be glued. For some reason I still did it. The paint I'm using here is Fuselage Tire Black. For me personally, I was quite happy how tidy they come out in the end. With these bits, it said not to glue them in, but I decided to glue them in anyway. Goes that little control stick. I wanted to add some silver on the handle just to give it something. With this kit having no cockpit detail really, I thought I'd go ahead and put the pilot in. I originally painted this in Vallejo blue, just Vallejo blue, and the colour seemed well off, so I did a Google comparison. It turns out I was well off. I ended up mixing Atom Ocean Grey with Vallejo Air Blue, and that seemed to be better. I don't quite remember the ratio, so I couldn't tell you, but I mixed it until I was satisfied with the image I had of a Royal Air Force pilot. The life jacket, I didn't have the beige colour that I needed. I ended up mixing yellow and white. I'm not sure on the ratio again, but I just mixed it until I was happy with the colour. For the headgear and gloves, I used Atom's leather. And some Vallejo black for the boots. As you can guess, the detail of this pilot is not the greatest. With the black band on the headgear, I had to guess as I was going along. Okay, so he's not fantastic, but I think he'll do considering he's only 1/72 scale. Now I put this guy in. After 50 years, he finally gets a seat. The fuselage lined up perfectly. We already know this. If you've seen the unboxing of this kit, it come loose in the box, so we had a quick dry fit test when we did the unboxing. Determined to get the airbrush look, I taped off the bits I wanted to protect in the airbrush. So I keep taping it off until I get the desired look all over that smooth finish. I used Tamiya curve tape to get the rounded end with the silver. I taped off the silver so we can go ahead with the yellow tips on the end. With yellow, it's not my favourite colour to apply. I find that yellow can be a bit of a pain to work with. I know my airbrush company's clean. To be fair, this airbrush I bought off Amazon for a cheap price, and I've had it for a year and a half, and it's just been perfect for what I need. I was quite happy with the look. I just needed a bit of black to touch up and tidy it up. Oh yeah, if you're going to build this kit yourself, one thing to note, do not cut the exhaust off in one go. I thought they were all the same. I later find out that they are not. And bang, I realised I'd made a mistake. I'm comparing, seeing, yeah, something's not quite right. I get the other side out, have a look, compare, then I have a sudden panic and realise I've got to change these quick. Luckily the glue had not quite bitten too hard, so I had to quickly move my arse and fix the issue. I would like to say lesson learned, but knowing me, I'll probably do it again, let's be honest. Having a quick double check to see if they're sitting right, comparing, and I'm happy to move on. Some black paint inside the wings so we don't see any bare plastic through the landing gear. I'm putting the underside and the top side of the wings together. At this point, you would put the propeller in, but because I've spent time making it look good and everything, I don't really want to have to try and protect it when I'm airbrushing the main aircraft. So I'm going to leave that for now and put it in later. Unfortunately, with the canopy, it was more scratched than I remember. You'll see it on the finished project. Since this project, I have got myself some new infinity sticks. They're the ones that have a sponge. They kind of go with the body. The sanding sticks I'm using on this kit, they don't have any give, so the worry is you could kind of accidentally square off something that should be kind of rounded when sanding the aircraft. This wing does fit, it just needed a little bit of brute force. The reason I'm using putty is because I couldn't get a flush finish with the wings in, and that gap would just not disappear, so I resorted to putty to clean it up, so there's no nasty gaps. For primer, I'm using Vallejo's black primer. And for the underside, I'm using Vallejo Pale Blue. Originally, I did put Seal Grey from Atom on. The colour looked far too white for my liking. I ended up using Vallejo Gold Grey. I used blue tack for the pattern. Some paint did get underneath, but I'm quite happy with the end result. Still for the exhaust, I was thinking of weathering this kit, but then I decided I wanted the clean look. In order to get the spin and propeller in, I had to cut this ridge off so I can slot it in. At this point, it was just a matter of getting it into your desired position. Because we've got our aircraft grounded, you've got to cut a line straight down the middle to make your landing gear doors. Gluing in the landing gear doors, I was a little bit nervous of dropping them into the actual wings of the aircraft, because I know once they're in there, they're going to be a pain to retrieve. I took one decal and put it in water to give it a little tester. It didn't fragment, which is a good sign. It means I don't have to do a clear lacquer and then have to wait 24 hours before I could use them. I always get a little bit stressed with this decal because if it doesn't line up with the other side, it could ruin the look of the aircraft for me personally. The side decals I cut in two to minimise flash. The 314 decals were the easiest to apply. I'm using that panel line and then pushing that decal rubbed up against it so it can sit perfectly in place. with the inner bombs the Carpet Monster did bait, I lost one. I looked everywhere for it. So obviously I had one I could have put on, but I left it off purely because it would stand out more with one missing. If I do happen to find it though, I will then put them in place and then I'll update it on the community page. Right guys, this is as far as I'm going to take you. You're not missing out much. It's just going to be a matte coat and I'm going to take the masking off the canopy. Thank you guys for watching, and as always I'm going to leave you guys with a spin.